Right then, once again, the nice people at Hygger have reached out to me and asked whether I'd like to try one of their new products, this HG019 heater. And after a quick look at it, I decided very quickly that I would. For the first reason, if you're tired of the same old ugly heaters that we've always had in the hobby, well, this is a very nice upgrade, isn't it? Look at this. This looks superb. Looks like something we want to use and have in our aquariums, doesn't it? Beyond that, I looked at some of the features, which I will explain later on, and yeah, just couldn't wait to give it a shot. Here we can see the double nickel chromium heating wires encased in explosive proof quartz glass. Explosive proof. Remember that, that's been a concern for a long while, isn't it? Not anymore with these heaters. And it just looks amazing, doesn't it? Really like the design on these things. They are covered in high temperature resistant plastic cover, which means it's not going to melt on us. It's got a fair amount of weight to it, so for some reason that's quite satisfying. Maybe that's just me, I don't know. And then we've got the double brackets to hold it in place. So they are just going to clip on like that and like that. Easy peasy. In fact, that's not seeming to click into place. What have I done wrong here? Right, hold on a minute. Right. Maybe it doesn't go at the top. Let's try shifting it down a wee bit. There we go. Clicks into place perfect. Alright, so we want to mount that in the middle and the bottom then, which makes actual sense when, when I think about it. This is the 300 watt model in a range that goes from 75 all the way up to 1200 watts. So you shouldn't have any trouble finding one that's rated for your size of aquarium. I measured the thick cable that came out at a generous 8 feet on this model anyway. And I also noticed the suction cups have these wee tabs on. It's a small feature but an important one. If you ever do need to remove them, well, lifting that is going to kind of separate the suction cup from the glass, releasing the suction, and then you can remove them. Suction cups without that are difficult to remove, but they thought of that, haven't they? It doesn't appear to matter which way round you put the heater. Both sides are detailed with either the wattage and the item number or the Hygger logo. And one thing you can't see is these actually have 3 temperature sensors in them for a more accurate reading, which is very cool. So it appears to be up to us which way round we want to put it, which is fine. And since we're discussing that, let's throw it in a tank. Obviously, this tank is too small for a heater this size, just for demonstration purposes. But as you can see, pretty easy to place it in position. You want to make sure the glass is free from algae or any kind of film, but that should help the suction cups affix themselves nicely. So we'll sling it in, plug it in and turn it on, and you can see the very, very nice, classy temperature display. I love the way it's giving a reading within 1 decimal point of the temperature. Pretty cool. And to adjust the set point by increments of ½ a degree, it looks like. We don't need to get our hands wet or pull the heater out of the water. We simply adjust it by this external hand controller. Makes life very, very easy, doesn't it? The button even has a satisfying click to it, but again, maybe that's just me, maybe that's a DKF thing, I don't know. It's got a range of 20 to 34 degrees Celsius, which is the kind of ideal range for most of the tanks we're keeping, and labelled around the button, as you can see there. While it's heating, we're going to get the red LED display underneath the temperature there. And when we reach a set point, it's going to turn green. Do you notice how quickly that water is heating up there? Admittedly, in a smaller tank with no water movement, but still quite impressive. Anyway, to demonstrate that, I'm going to cycle through the temperatures again. If I move it up higher than the water temperature currently is, you get the red LED. And if I run through again to set it lower than the current temperature, you'll see that we get the green one. That means the heater's not heating, doesn't need to heat. Once the temperature drops below the set point, we'll get the red LED to say it's heating again, and it will bring it up to temp. Just to show it is accurate, I dropped a wee digital thermometer in there. It is 0.1 of a degree out. However, the sensor's at the front of the tank and there is no water movement. Like I said, I'm pretty happy with that. What I'm wanting to test next is the anti-run dry feature. And if you saw the video where I very nearly set my whole house on fire, you will understand why I think this is so important, so amazing that these things are in this new breed of heaters, and what I'm calling the greatest innovation we've had in aquarium keeping for many years. And there we go. As soon as the water level dropped below the top of the heater, it instantly gave us an error message and stopped heating. So good by the way. Just to make sure that it will work when the water is replaced, we'll toss the water back in from our bucket, and as you can see, as soon as the water level is high enough, the heater starts operating again. It should also cut out if the temperature exceeds the 34 Celsius mark, which is so good. Really good safety features they are. Amazing. Always get bubbles when you first put water in a tank, don't you? I've been battling this through this whole video, by the way, but hey, the heater can't do everything, can it? If you do need to remove it, maybe you need to do a bit of maintenance or whatever, you just kind of click it out of the cradles. Even just pull it straight up, that'll work too. Couldn't be easier. Probably want to leave the suction cups in place, actually. And then you can just pop it straight back in when you want to replace it. Simple. Just as a wee demo of how strong these suction cups are, which I discovered by accident. Look at that. Lifting the whole tank and a wee bit of water with him. If you do need to get inside it for any reason, maybe you got some leaves got stuck inside it or something like that, you can remove the bottom part of the casing. Quite like that. And it's easy just to replace them again and snap it back. So what do we think overall? Well, I love it. I love the design, I love the build quality. I love all the features that you get with it. I like the safety features especially, and how quickly it heats the water. It does a really good job. The only thing I can't vouch for is the long-term use. Obviously I've only had it a few days, but they do give you a 1-year warranty with it, and there's no reason to not expect it to last longer than that. I like the fact that when I tested it, it was accurate, and the fact that you can alter it between half a degree and it gives you a readout within a decimal point of a degree. I like the way it's pretty easy to pull out the tank if you need to and replace it. I like the way you can get in about it to clean it, so it's never going to get built up with gunk and stray plant matter. I like that you don't have to get your hands wet to adjust it. I like you can have it the Hygger logo facing way if you want to see the readout, or flip it around if you're not keen on seeing that in the tank. I would say it's in the middle of price points, but for my new favourite heater with all the features that it comes packed with and a nice design, I think that is more than justified.